champ! Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!
I'm actually getting a little bit scared, man. And I have to reiterate that my job is on the line. If I don't get elite, I've been told this very, very clearly. If I don't get elite, I'm gone. And I've said that to the players. You know, I was kind of thinking to myself earlier, like, do I actually tell this to the players and just let them get on with it? Or not, you know? Because ultimately it might put a bit more pressure on the lads. But I decided I've got to tell them. You know, I've got to see if they've actually got a bit of fight. And it seemed one of the players that cannot be questioned is Julian Brandt. And this has been time after time where he's turned up in these big games where all the pressure's on. And he's just doing the most. He's showing the most fight. He's going for every second ball and all the rest of it. And I've just given him a firm handshake after this game and just been like, you know what, lad? It's been an honour working with a boy. You know, if this is my last day, if this is the end of me at Lego Padme FC, then I just want to say, lad, it's been an absolute pleasure. Now, I didn't shake many other hands, only Xavi. You know, Emre Can, to be fair, he's actually been fine at times, but I just think Julian Brandt in particular, he deserves that recognition from the club and myself. So we're up against another ridiculous team, and it seemed that all the strategists that I just hadn't seen, you know, from all across the galaxy were suddenly flying in. They're suddenly flying in and laughing, and this lad just absolutely ripped me. I didn't even know who he was. He was just like some random alien. And, you know, before we know it, we're 3-0 down, and I'm just kind of sat there in my chair just like, I'm not happy at all, man. I was leaning back even more just to try and relax, but it just wasn't working. And I actually put on some earmuffs because their fans were celebrating it, and they were real fans. It's, you know, quite intimidating actually seeing real fans rather than CGI. But I just had to put some earmuffs on and just kind of tune it all out. And that was, you know, I've never had to do that in a stadium before. Is actually just completely tune myself out and just sit there doing nothing. And that was scary. So, you know, I think part of that is ultimately fear. Like I say, there is definitely fear from myself of actually losing my place of a club. But we just got to keep fighting. And I think I got myself together after that game. And we've kind of reinvigorated the team. We've just kind of got them going again. I think we're actually listening to a couple of clips and also seeing Shannon the Cannon Briggs just walk in there saying, let's go champ. Let's go champ again and again. And it just seemed to get him going. It really did just seem to get them going after this game, ever since hearing Shannon the Cannon just going at it. Let's go champ. They were just screaming. They were screaming, and they were screaming it as well. They're saying, let's go champ, all of them screaming. And the performances, they speak for themselves. Lozano, look at this here. Gets taken down. 44th minute, Areola. What's he saying? Mertens. Hey? That's not followed the script. What's going on here? I thought we meant to win this game. Nah, I don't like this. I actually don't like this at all. Oh, no. Lads, I don't know what to tell you. My job's on the line here. No, I don't like this. No. Oh, man, I was crying. It's weird. It's so awkward, like, crying when the cameras are on you and all of that, because it's like, I was trying not to cry in front of the cameras. And, I just kept having to turn away and stuff, but eventually some lad on, like, a little mini camcorder went right up in my face and was, like, pointing at me, like, how you feeling, Mbirchy? How you feeling, lad? And I'm just like, mate, what are you doing? I literally said that, like, what are you doing? And since the post has actually gone viral, and, you know, people just want to see me suffer. Mbirchy, they want to see him suffer at Lego Padme FC. They want to see me gone. They want to see my head on a spike. You know, they actually do want me gone. So Julian Brandt is looking like one of the only lads that doesn't want me gone. Gives it to Xavi, and he wants the same. He wants me to stay. And they've said that to me. They actually both walked into my office the other day and just said, lad, I want you to stay. I want your strats. I want you in amongst it. And I was really happy to hear it. And, you know, maybe the Let's Go champ hasn't worked. And I think Shannon the Cannon was actually starting to turn up to the games himself, because he said, you know, maybe the Let's Go champ isn't going to work by itself. So I got to actually turn up, and I had him sat right next to me. I actually moved my assistant managers, Geezy, Benji, and Nicholas Breslin, up into the stands. Couldn't be arsed for the lads. I just said Shannon the Cannon. I want him next to me. You know, a proper fighter. Somebody that's willing to actually, like, scream. Like, the whole game. I mean, fair enough, it can get quite annoying, to be fair. Like, he is literally screaming, let's go champ for the whole game. But I just think it really helps for players. It seems to really, really just get them going. So, Mertens, look at that wonderful overlap by Jordi Alba. And that is something that has been discussed a lot in the changing rooms. And on the training ground. Of getting Jordi Alba on that overlap and Xavi really working as well. And the thing is that we're doing kind of an inverted run here and there. But we're mixing up our run types to make sure that they're constantly kind of on their toes. They don't know whether Jordi Alba's coming from the outside or the inside. But look at that by Zaha, man. I saw him practicing a couple of skill moves. He was looking at a couple of YouTube tutorials before the game. And it's clearly kind of worked out for the boy. I mean, it's actually scary, though, to think when you look at the coins that we've got in the club and we're thinking, like, mate, we're not even spending any of this almost. Like, barely any of this is actually being spent. And, you know, obviously that is the board of directors ultimately that are able to make that decision. And I'm not really in the position anymore to be questioning the board of directors because as soon as I do, you know, the contract's ripped up and that's the end of me. So I just got to kind of accept it, move on. You know, maybe we haven't got the best team, you might say, especially seeing as we've got all of those coins available to spend. But Julian Brandt, it doesn't matter how many coins he costs. The guy's the best in the world. He's the best player in the world right now. And I think he should actually be in for contention of the Ballon d'Or. You know, I think this year it's actually being presented by Jabba the Hutt, which could actually be a nice little help as well, you know. Like low-key little payments type things. So, you know, we'll see how rigged that is and all the rest of it. We'll see if we can get that going for Julian Brandt. Because I really do think, like I say, he needs that recognition. And if it takes something like the Ballon d'Or to get it going, then fair enough. Now, what we're working on recently as well, in these games, you're going to really start to see it come to the forefront. As we realise, you know, we're going to come up against some more difficult opponents. So I actually had a chat with Guardiola and actually started to get his strats properly kind of implemented. So you'll see we're actually starting to play some lovely kind of passing combination plays, dragging players all around the pitch and causing mass disorganisation amongst their ranks. You know, the kind of thing where they turn back to the manager and they're like, manager, what's going on here? And then they're getting scared. They're getting really scared. And then they're questioning the manager's strats on the other team and all the rest of it. And it's like mutiny within the ranks. So look at this lovely combination play. Xavi, who's working himself, as you can see, into the inside and allowing Lozano to actually work on that wing there. Xavi just making a fake little run. And then we work it inside to Insigne to get that second goal. And, you know, this is up against a strategist. This is actually up against Tarkin, who I didn't really ever think that I would be able to actually match up against, especially with, you know, he's got the best available technology and teams at his side. But, I mean, that goal really just kind of epitomizes what we're doing right now. It's stunning. It's just lovely to see. You know, it puts a smile on your face. And that's the kind of football that we really want to see at this club. As Zaha works the ball in for Mertens. And we just finish him off. And best believe they went straight into hyperspace and they just jetted out of it. They weren't having it. I've never actually seen Tarkin in that kind of mood. But he clearly just wasn't having it. He was trying out all sorts of different systems to try and break us down. To try and get a hold of the ball. But ultimately we've retained possession. Dominated the game. You know, just made it really difficult for them to do anything. We're taking them down. So I'll literally be back in a sec. I've just had news that my hash browns are ready, so I need to get them out of the oven. Trust. Hello? Trust me, I've literally just turned down the dial or whatever on the oven. They're just kind of sat ever so cozy. The hash browns and the fish cakes are just waiting. Bird's eye fish cakes coming in, you know, the sponsorship too. So we're looking to laugh in this game, very much focusing more on the build-up now. And this is where tactically we are actually getting a bit more in depth, as Jordi Alba is making that inverted run. And it's saying to the opposition right back, you know, you've got a choice here. You're coming with me, or you're going with that winger. And he's kind of in between. He didn't really fully commit to either. And Jordi Alba was able to just drive through. Now, we have conceded a bit of a cheap goal there. And I actually said, I think our players were lacking a bit of focus. And that's what I said in the press conference after in this game. And they've just whipped it in and they've won the second ball there, Jesus. And that was just a joke. That was a joke, and I was absolutely fuming. And I think, you know, the tension and stuff can actually boil over. So I actually apologise to some of my players right now that, you know, I didn't mean to send Shannon Briggs on you like that. You know, what I've done is I've set up a ring. And I've basically just brought in all my players in like a tag team match, in like a tornado tag team match against Shannon and Cannon. And believe me, you know, they got done. They got rinsed. And half the players have turned up to training with a black eye the next day, and just looking a bit roughed up, And you know, ultimately Shannon and Cannon enjoyed it, so I think somebody enjoyed it at least. I did actually leave Julian Brandt out of that because I did think that he was working hard, and same with Xavi as well. And now it starts to get a bit awkward within the ranks because it's like some of the players are noticing that they're kind of getting this preferential kind of special treatment where they're getting, you know, seats for a little bit more comfortable. The next generation of lumbar support seats, they're getting kind of hot chocolate green tea served at half time. And some of the other players are kind of like, hey, like, why are they getting all this stuff? And it's like mutiny. They're starting to throw punches towards me. Obviously, Shannon Cannon catching every one and throwing one back. So, you know, a couple of players just weren't the same after yeah, basically just a bit of preferential treatment to Xavi and Brandt, but I think they deserve it ultimately. And in this game, we got them fighting again. Man. Mertens, I just said that this is a massive game and you're all getting some green tea and, like, just lots of exclusive stuff. You all get the brand new, because I think they all wanted the lumbar support seats, the new lumbar support seats. And I just said, if you can get me elite, then you can have it, lads. And I think this game in particular seemed to be, in their minds, almost the game that is going to do it, because they just turned up, man. They turned up. And we've actually come up against a big corporation here. I think it's Poiser. And I think they actually stream a lot of their games over on Twitch TV or something like that. It's a very, very big organisation that we're up against that has kind of leverage over the industry in terms of broadcasting and stuff as well. So it's quite a scary team. And they had the players to add that fear factor. You know, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, it's very clear that we're up against a big establishment from minute one, but we caught them on the counter colded because we were playing that possession football the whole time and they were just getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden, you know, they've committed a lot of players forward. But in this case here, they've actually caught us in a pressing trap where we're trying to get out of it. We're trying to get Julian Brandt and get him on the ball and get out of a trap. They've caught us cold. Really, really good pressing. I have to say, they've got some top kind of coaches at the club that I've seen that are really good at getting the pressing kind of strategy. And they've caught us twice there. But it's essentially just lucky that we did our work earlier in the game and we caught them out earlier in the game. Enough to actually see that game out. Enough to pretty much just outscore them. Because, like I say, their pressing game was top-notch. And that was that was basically strategical warfare right there. And we've just about come out on top. So 2 wins left, or 2 games left. And it actually ends up going down to the final game. The final game. So there's no other way to put it. There's no other, you know, I can't really make it any more dramatic. It's quite simple, really. If we win this game, we stay at the club. If we lose, this will be my last video working for Lego Padme FC. And it's just that simple. You know, there isn't anything about it. So we start off not in the best of ways. Now, at this point, people like Nicholas Breslin were actually turning up to me and giving me kind of goodbye presents for some reason, which I thought was a bit disrespectful. They obviously didn't believe that we were ever coming back, especially, I think it was that skill move in particular that really started to bring the presents out. Now, you know, I basically turned away the presents and I said, you know, I've had enough of this and we're switching up the strategy. So we started off with a 4-3-3 and I've realised that we are just getting overloaded and we need to switch up the strat. So I switched back to the 5-4-1 and this is where we really started to find the openings. So Julian Brandt plays it through the lines there really well. Mertens, a little bit of individual brilliance. And that's sometimes what it takes. And at that point, I was screaming. You know, I'd take the presents still. I was actually unwrapping them at this point just for a laugh. But I think some of them were actually trying to take it back. They're like, nah, lad. No, that was only if you're a leaving type thing, but I was just like, nah, might as well have them anyway. So we're going up the pitch again. Xavi, really good sort of possession play and gets the ball through. Mertens once again. I have to say, I was chuffed with a lad. I was really chuffed with a lad. And at half time, we're all going mad. Look, Mertens is walking in. He's just... He's an absolute legend at this point. You know, he scored those 2 goals. And all of a sudden, he's been praised. You know, and I can't even blame the lads for praising him. I was praising him as well. And I actually gave him some of the presents. And look at this. Xavi. My goodness me. What a ball. What a ball by Xavi. Lozano. And we catch him cold on the counter. I was honestly, like, this was just for self-belief by the players. Had been fully installed. No matter what was going on, they were still fighting. And honestly, I was just really happy with what I've seen. And then all of a sudden it goes wrong. Atal scoring. Scary. And this is when you have to, as a manager, make those big decisions. I brought on Rafa in centre mid, taking off Insigne. Which a lot of the press and a lot of the people kind of were staring at me. Like, even some of the people in my coaching staff like saying, what on earth? But we needed fresh legs. Xavi, once again, comes up with a beauty of a pass. Lozano, giving it to Mertens. What a finish. I'll tell you what. He's a legend. He almost gets a statue just for this game. Man of the match by an absolute mile. Mertens. I don't even know what to say. We just have to see it out. And we do. We somehow, after going 2-0 down against a ridiculous club, we turn it around and we get the win. So there you have it. I've actually signed a contract with Lego Padme FC. I'm staying at the club. A solid finish. You know, a very solid finish, getting elite. I'll be back next week. My goodness me, chaps and chappets. I'll see you in a jiffy. Yeah, team sport never picked last. Man has always been fast. Man, do you think these rappers really got bars? Come through with a broadcast.